Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I am playing the Tier 8 British battleship or battlecruiser Hawke. This is the third in a series of videos this week, which I am calling Battlecruiser Week, where I highlight this particular line, which I have just blasted through. It took me a week or two to get through this line. I made use of a lot of the blue bonus packs because I wanted to get them completed, honestly, to get them completed ahead of the holiday event. I wanted to have that extra tier 10. But I have to say, despite the fact that I really went through this line fast, they are very fun to play. Now, if you've been watching these in order, you saw me playing the tier 6, and then tier 7. Now we're at the tier 8. The tier 6 and tier 7, the guns pretty much the same. These are 406s, so they're a little bit bigger caliber gun. They are in a similar 3x3 configuration, 3 turrets, 3 barrels on each turret. You've got 2 forward, 1 aft. And you have to be really careful with the ships in this line not to be sitting flat broadside, particularly to other battleships, but also to heavy cruisers, because the armor on these ships is really not that great. I really recommend, as I've mentioned in at least one of the other videos already, I recommend playing these things like you would play a heavy cruiser. If you do that, I think you can have great fun and probably some significant success. So the 406s, to give you the particulars: 31-second base reload, 30-second 180-degree turn time, base firing range 17.1 kilometers, max dispersion at 17.1 kilometers, 206 meters. Really not bad at all. And HE shells do a max damage of 5,950 with a 45% fire chance, which is definitely better than the previous 2 tiers. Initial HE shell velocity 792 meters per second. Excuse me. And the AP shells do a max damage of 12,600, and the AP shell velocity a little bit slower at 747 meters per second. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, it means that as you're going through the tier 6 and tier 7, there's going to be a lot of consistency in the guns, both in their performance damage-wise, but also in their flight characteristics and how you aim them and the time you need to lead, etc. That changes when you get to this ship. It's not a great big change, but it is a change, and you can see there, decently angled, but the armor on these ships, again, not that great, and 4,100 plus damage right out of the gate. And I'm just going to sit here for a second, let those ships find somebody else to pay attention to.
Attention, cible repérée à cette position.
And right now I'm kind of making use of the fantastic concealment on this ship to get off a shot and hopefully help finish off the Kitakaza. 3780, if I'd had HE shells primed and ready to go, I might have been able to help finish off that Kitakaza a little earlier, but
engine boost activated.
I didn't. I was really hoping to catch somebody broadside crossing behind that island, like the Catalunya, but he was a little bit too savvy for that. I'm going to go ahead and race across here. You can see I've activated the speed boost because I am fully expecting torpedoes as I eat a 1,200 damage shot from somebody who was targeting the Richelieu in front of me there. I am now detected. Ashitaka having kind of raced forward. Is he going to show me some sides? Yeah, it looks like he is. It's not a flat broadside, but these shells can do damage regardless. 14,524 damage with 5 pens, and that is kind of the beauty of this line. You can see I've continued my turn because I did see the Iowa out there, and you can also see Nebraska. I do not want to show a flat broadside to them, but I'm hoping while everybody's reloading to get another shot on the Ashitaka. You can see big shells coming up of the island there. There's another almost 12K on Ashitaka. And now it's myself, Richelieu, and Colorado. Colorado sailing broadside to the red team. I'll just say I have limited expectation. I guess that's a tactful way to say it, of our Colorado, as he's using HE shells on the Nebraska. Enough said about that. Now, what else can I tell you about the ship? Well, how about I tell you a little bit about the torpedoes. Secondaries, really nothing exciting. Base range on the secondary is a 6.6. You can increase that, of course, but why would you? You're not going to want to make this a secondary ship. That was not as great as I hoped for on the Nebraska.
Engine boost deactivated.
Torpedoes, well, you've got 4. You can see you've got launchers on each side of the ship. Each launcher drops 1 torpedo. So you can put 2 out on a side. Reload time 80 seconds. These are 533s. They do 15,867 damage max. Their speed 61 knots and range 8 kilometers. So are they great? No. Can they dissuade somebody from chasing you? Yeah, they can. And in some games they did. Now with 8 kilometer range, somebody would have to push up around that island and keep coming at us for those torpedoes to do any good. But if somebody sees them, it might give them pause and make them slow down, right? So they can serve a function that way, even if they don't hit anybody. I have to be really careful that nobody gets a shot on me through those islands. I'm trying to keep my distance. Look at the mini-map. You can see the outer circle is my detection range, 11.8, and I am detected. The Kitakaze that we saw out there, he's got 12 kilometer torpedoes, so I'm trying to stay away from that. Now somebody's smoked up. Can I hit them in the smoke? Don't think there are any big ships here that can get guns on me right now. There are the torpedoes. If you see that 11.8 circle,
Torpedoes to starboard.
I think that's going to mean these torpedoes don't have the range, and they didn't. Kitakaze does finish off our Colorado. Can't say that I'm terribly surprised about that, as Colorado continued to cross in front of half the red team. Richelieu and myself still making a run for it. I think Richelieu made an error in judgment, deciding to go on that side of this little island, because he is going to find himself alone out there, and that is going to be potentially a very bad thing for him. You can see Roma is crossing. I'm going to try and get another shot on Kitakaze.
Fire.
And then make use of the island here to avoid taking any more damage while I reload the guns. Do manage to land 1 shell, not much damage. And Ashitaka, you can see where he's at. He's very close.
Problem solved, sir.
Really great detection radius on Ashitaka. I'm just going to sit here, let the guns reload. There's really no reason for me to push out. And you can see that our Richelieu, he's kind of in trouble, right? Now I'm just going to get out here far enough to get off a shot on Ashitaka, because he's going to have to change position. Okay, now he sees me. He's going to turn into Iowa. It's a question of whether he was going to stay turned into me or turn into the Iowa. He's turned into the Iowa. He's going to pay for that. Almost 26k damage as our Richelieu goes down. I am able to finish off the Ashitaka, and that's what I was talking about as far as these guns. They're very accurate. They hit really hard. And you can see I
Engine boost activated.
made a hard turn to port, and I'm going to hit the speed boost to try to mitigate the damage from incoming fire that I know is going to be coming. Try and get the rear guns on Catalunya, convince him that sitting out there is not a good idea, and then whatever fires or issues he may start for me, it's not going to be worth the damage that he might be taking. 4,600. I was tempted to turn and try to get the front guns on him before he backs into the island cover, but I opted not to.
Problem solved, sir.
I'm just going to try and go dark. So who's left on the red team that can spot me? Kitakaza, Mr. Shimmy, Z23, Catalunya, Shimanto, quite a lot. Now I go dark, and that tells me that I can move around with impunity now. And with the speed boost, I'm able to do so fairly quickly. Our Harlem, of course, is making use of the same island cover that I was, but with the DD there, it is much more dangerous for him to sit there. And he doesn't seem to be moving. Our Hollande takes out the red team's Mr. Shimmy, which is really great. Catalunya is once again visible. And I'm going to try and land a shot on Catalunya. Looks like he's backing up a little bit. You can get a lot of overpens on cruisers with this. One pen. That's not great, but the best I can do, I guess. All right, so taking a look at the scoreboard, we've got, well, 250-point lead, roughly. But the bad guys are taking the Bravo cap. Our Z44 has been chasing
Engine boost
Grom and
deactivated.
Z23. Maybe keeping them spotted as much as he can for our Navarine. But right now I'm kind of trying to decide whether I need to go port or starboard. And I decide that I don't want to go to port, because if I do, I'm going to be crossfired by Catalunya or Iowa. So I need to just keep falling back and count on our Hollande to help in the middle there. You can see I've switched to HE because I don't want to get overpins on Catalunya, and I want to be able to help with the DDs. He's turning out. Now it's just a question of how fast is he moving. Made my best guess. If he turns back in at all, I'm going to go over right over the top. And he kind of did, I think, a little bit. Yeah. I can't show flat broadside to Iowa. I was focused on our Harlem. So I really need to land a shot on the Catalunya. As he turns in, takes a little bit of damage and gets a fire from the Harlem. Let's see if he'll turn into the torpedo strike. I think he's going to put the shells out where I think he has to be. And we'll see. A little damage, took out his rudder, started a fire. I can't come full broadside. I'm practically full broadside now to the Iowa, and I'm starting to take a little bit of fire. I don't want to sit here indefinitely. I'm going to start turning and try to get another shot out on Catalunya to help finish him off. You can see Grom is almost sunk down there, and I am able to help finish off Catalunya. And Harlem is plainly focused on what's behind him, and I don't blame him. I didn't honk out of any anger or anything, just let him know that I was here so he wouldn't be surprised when he heard the sound of the collision. Now, the red team has fought back really well, and as it stands right now, we're down to 5 ships. They still have 6. They also have a 2 cap to 1 advantage and are kind of whittling away at our points lead. I've still got HE loaded, so I'm going to see what I can do about starting a fire on Roma. You can see Iowa back there still has a lot of health, and look at that. I mean, that for a battleship at that range, so accurate. 3 fires, and I'm able to go dark pretty much immediately because I got behind the island and I'm out of range of the Iowa. And what that tells me is that there's no destroyer in any of these lanes that could keep me spotted. And that's why I felt comfortable turning around here. And I'm going to move closer to try and help finish off Roma. They already have the cap. Our Hollande is moving into position. My hat's off to our Hollande. Trying to get torpedoes on both Iowa and Roma. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. Iowa goes dark.
Engine boost activated.
Victory is in sight.
See what I can do. That would have been nice, but there's no way to hit him. The island's in the way. See what I can do here against Roma. It's going to be questionable whether I'm going to be able to make this turn without running into the island, but I think I can do it. You can see I switched back to AP.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
8,200 damage. I'll take it. And I can sit here. I'm reasonably well angled. He's not aiming at me, so the only person that's probably going to be putting shots on me is going to be the Iowa. And I'm going to get another shot on the Roma from here as I go dark again. Can I finish him off? Somebody there helping me from the Iowa. Oh, big airstrike, and that's just, yeah, coup de grace. But really, I think Harlem gets the majority of the credit for that with a nice airstrike drop. And that's the game. Just so much fun to play. Did I light up the scoreboard? Did I do anything phenomenal? No. But you know, you're not gonna do that every game. I just wanted to show you what this ship is capable of doing. The shells hit hard. They have great pen values. 47 shots on target, 97,000 plus damage. Came in second. Hats off again to the Alland. Great game. Put shells on 5 different ships. Picked up some decent XP and credits. It's really fun to play. This whole line is. Stay tuned, because coming up next is going to be the next ship in this line tomorrow. The Tier 9. Well, you know what? I take that back. I think I've got 2 of these videos, maybe even 3 of the Hawke. So the Duncan may have to wait a little while. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.